The Nintendo Switch lineup for October is kind of crazy and honestly a little overwhelming. Let's talk about it. Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is Tyler today, and yeah, I've been a little overwhelmed with, honestly, the next 3 months of games coming out, let alone this month. So let's talk about this month for the Nintendo Switch specifically. I mean, in general, a lot of these things are multi-plat, or also other consoles are getting their own insane amount of games. So being a gamer right now is a little crazy. It always feels like a little crazy these last 3 months of the year. You know, everyone's trying to get their game out before the holidays, and makes sense sales-wise. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Nintendo Switch lineup for this month. Before we actually talk about what comes out this month, technically this doesn't come out this month. It came out on the 30th of September, but Bayonetta 1 is the first thing I want to talk about today. The physical specifically came out on the Nintendo Switch, and yeah, Nintendo themselves have said this is limited. Who knows how much that is limited wise, but you know, head to GameStop, head to Best Buy. I think Best Buy got it. Check Amazon, that might still be in stock there, but yeah, this was selling out. But if you can get it, I'd say get it if you're into collecting games, especially with Bayonetta 3, which is one thing we'll talk about later. Let's continue on talking about what actually comes out in October, though. In the beginning of October 4th, we got Overwatch 2, sequel to Overwatch. I'm frankly a little excited for it. I played a ton of Overwatch 1. I think I have like 4,000 hours or something. It's a little crazy, but yeah, I loved it. I kind of fell out of it. A lot of people fell out of it, I would say around like 2018, 2019 mark, maybe. At least that's where I started falling out of it. But Overwatch 2 is launching on the Nintendo Switch as well, October 4th. It's going to be free to play. So if you don't know if you like it, try it. Don't like it, you don't like it. But alongside that, Overwatch 1 is actually shutting down, which is a little sad. I mean, it makes sense. It's supposed to be a better version of Overwatch, so it kind of makes sense why they would be canning that whole game. But yeah, I guess if you own Overwatch on the Switch, make sure you transfer your stuff. You can transfer actually by linking an account to a Battle.net account. Keep all your items, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to be rerunning like a lot of the items. I'm gonna guess why it's a big deal to transfer. I don't know how that's all gonna work, but yeah, Overwatch 2, October 4th. Next up, in October on October 6th is Nier Automata, the End of Yora edition. Now, I have not played Nier. I have not finished it ever. I did play a decent amount on PlayStation, and honestly, I mean, it is fun. It's hard for me to play a ton of RPGs, but I have really thought about going back to this one, specifically because I hear it's so good. It's so good. This is actually a port of the game. It's not like a cloud version like Kingdom Hearts is. This is actually a port, and surprisingly, from what people are saying, it does run pretty well. There are videos out there now of how the game runs, and yes, it runs pretty impressively. Like, actually, doesn't really seem to be anything wrong, which frankly surprises me. It's kind of sad being like always having to be a little skeptical of these third-party games that are like, ooh, is it going to run on the Switch? But from what it looks like, it definitely does work very well. And if you're a fan of like Square RPGs, Platinum games, this is definitely a game for you. Or if you already played it, I believe there's new content. It might just be skins. I'm not really sure, but I know they've added new costumes at the very least. But yeah, October 6th, Nier Automata End of Yora edition. I believe this is getting a physical for $40? 40 or 50. This is getting a physical though, so if you're into physical collecting, big moment for the Switch, I'd say. Next up on October 7th, so a day after, is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, the game a lot of people were like, at launch, if you don't know, was very lackluster, and the story is actually a little cool. They took a lot of the money they got and just kept improving the game to make it into something they wanted. I have not seen any actual gameplay of this yet. I'm a little skeptical because it is a pretty impressive game on its own, so getting it to work on the Switch to me is makes me a little skeptical, I guess, to say in the least. But if you're into that, No Man's Sky, October 7th. I don't think it's going to have the multiplayer, which kind of sucks. Saying that, in my opinion, the Switch is a big multiplayer console, though it wasn't split-screen multiplayer, if I recall, anyways, but still, it's a little unfortunate, because that was one of the big things they added. But, I mean, maybe this game will be really at home on the Switch. I honestly have no clue. I haven't played a ton of it, because I never really got into it. It's not really my thing. Next up, another big release for the Switch on October 14th, Dragon Ball The Breakers. Now, if the only thing I really think of to compare this to is it's honestly Dragon Ball Dead by Daylight in a way. I would say more also like Evolve, if you remember that failed game that came out like mid-life on the PS4 and Xbox One, I believe. Basically, there is 3 Dragon Ball villains versus 7 survivors from just I think they're all pretty much all random people in Dragon Ball. There might be a couple main characters I can't really remember as the survivors, but yeah, the survivors have to do their best to escape this. Basically, it seems like some weird timeline thing is happening, and like they have to use a time machine to escape. It's basically play Dead by Daylight. You got to make generators. Well, instead of generators, you're making things to make this time machine to escape this villain from Dragon Ball. You can play as Cell, Majin Buu, and Frieza, I believe, and they all like slowly evolve into their perfect forms. I mean, Cell literally starts out as his little cell. I don't know what else to call it. You break out of that shell, and you slowly build up to a perfect form, and basically the same with all the other characters. And yeah, I mean, you as a survivor, you look like you gain items to help stop the villain. I don't know, it's kind of a weird concept. I don't really know if I'm all too impressed with it. It seems kind of boring. I was watching some of the beta, but maybe I'll give it a shot. I think it's going to be launching at like $40, so I don't know. It is getting a physical too if you're into physical collector, and yeah. Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime Speedway on October 14th. I think this is also getting a physical too. I did not really like this series. I tried it once on the Xbox. They just kind of feel like a worse version of like Sonic All-Stars Racing transformed. I don't know. I wasn't really left too impressed with it. It's kind of cool. They do have a lot of cool Nickelodeon characters. I think this one's even having Garfield in it, but I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend this. Maybe your kids, if you got kids, you would really like it. I don't know. It's not definitely a Mario Kart replacement if that was something you were looking for. I guess I can't really say for the third one. I'm speaking on behalf of the second one. So who knows? Next up is A Plague Tale Requiem. I don't really know too much about this game, but this is a cloud version. I personally would make sure this thing works before buying it. Watch a video of someone playing this when it comes out. Cloud versions, honestly, aren't that good. I like Xbox xCloud gaming because that works because they have the money for it, but these don't seem to work too well. Maybe this one will be different. I'm not a fan of cloud versions. I would rather just not have the game, frankly, because they don't work that well. They have not worked that well, and we're talking about another worse cloud version later on in this video. After that, though, October 20th, Mario & Rabbids Spark of Hope. This is getting, I think, 2 versions, physically a gold and a normal version. The gold version is going to have all the DLC, one of which is having Rayman. Rayman is back with the Rabbids. Yeah, but hey, it's still pretty cool that I'm assuming he will be playable in some shape or form in a DLC, similar to the Donkey Kong DLC the first game saw. And I think that's pretty cool. The people that work on these games are really talented. No one's talking about this. This is one of the best looking Switch games in my opinion in terms of art styles and such. Is it the most realistic thing? No, I would hope not to see the Rabbids realistic looking. That'd be terrifying. But the art style is phenomenal, and they really know what they're doing with the animations. It is wonderful. It is truly wonderful. And yeah, this is XCOM style gameplay if you don't know much about it. Some of the new characters, there's going to be a Rabbids Rosalina, I think an OC Rabbid, unless I don't know the Rabbids lore, and also Bowser. Bowser's going to be playable. Yoshi is MIA, which is kind of funny to me, but Yeah, Yoshi has been killed by Ubisoft. And there's also a gold version. If you pre-order the gold version at GameStop, not sponsored, just so you know, there's a steelbook, and I was a sucker and pre-ordered that. I don't really know if I'll pick it up, I guess, but hey, maybe I will. This is also a game, if you're really on the fence about it, wait a few months. Frankly, it'll eventually. It's a Ubisoft game, so it probably will drop. The first one did drop in price. I think you can pick it up for like $20 now all the time. So that's always on the table if you just want to wait. This is one of the few like Nintendo games that will go down in price because technically it's not made by Nintendo. Another game I found out about was called Warhammer 40. I think it's Warhammer 40k. Shoot as Blood and Teeth. I don't know what this is. I saw I was getting a physical. It is definitely something that looks like if you maybe know about Warhammer lore makes more sense, but honestly it just kind of looked, and I don't mean to like put it down, it's just quirky. That's the only word I could think of. It kind of reminded me of Metal Slug a little bit. It's a 2D, like it kind of looked like a 2D looter shooter almost in a way. I don't know. I'm not picking it up, but I decided to put it out there. Maybe if you're a Warhammer fan, it makes a lot more sense. But I just wasn't interested in it, frankly. On October 21st, there's a lot of stuff coming out in this like little week in October. New Tales from the Borderlands, Telltale game. I don't remember how Telltale got saved, but I'm not really the most crazy person for the Telltale type of games. They tell great stories. I just like actually playing the game. I'm not into visual novels or anything like that. So, I mean, if you're into that, I did like Tales from the Borderlands. I'm not really a fan of this name, calling New Tales from the Borderlands, because it sounds very similar to the other one. But if you're a fan of Borderlands, which is also on the Switch, and if you're a fan of the Tales from the Borderlands, this is probably right up your alley. I might get this when this goes on sale, but not picking it up at launch. Pretty sure this is also getting a physical, I believe. On October 21st as well, probably one of the biggest releases in terms of the October for the Switch, or one of the most demanded releases rather, Persona 5 Royal. This is getting a physical as well. There's also a special edition. I'm not sure if it's still on sale on Shop Atlas's website. Honestly, don't really recommend buying from there. Their shipping is insanely expensive, but do whatever you want. Yeah, this is one of the most demanded Switch games for a long time. Especially since Joker got into Smash Bros. People wanted to see Persona 5 on the Switch. Then we got Persona 5 Strikers, and still no Persona 5, but here it is. There it is. If you're a fan of RPGs, a fan of Persona, just been wanting this game portably, there you go. It's not really much more simpler than that. This is not like our first taste of Persona on the Switch. Obviously, Shin Megami Tensei isn't Persona, but it is similar in a lot of ways. We got Shin Megami Tensei 3 Remake and also Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something else maybe, but there you go, Persona 5 Royal, October 21st. The cloud version I mentioned earlier comes out October 23rd. Is Resident Evil Village. Do not buy this. Don't buy it. The Capcom Resident Evil Village didn't work cloud wise, and it seems like the demo for Resident Evil 8 Village also does not work cloud wise either. These just get use a computer. Get a cheap PlayStation. Get something else to play this on. Do not have this be the way you play Resident Evil games. It's not worth your time or money to try and just fight their servers. It doesn't work. It frankly doesn't work. And it's very disappointing to see that, not going to be able to really play this on the Switch in any good way. Next up is Bayonetta 3 on October 28th, and this is the last thing I got today. Bayonetta 3 is also the other, I would say, alongside Mario & Rabbids, the other big Nintendo release this month. Been a long way as sequel. I don't remember how many years it's been. Has it been like 3 years since the Game Awards announcement, 3 or 4 years, and it's finally coming out. I'm trying to get caught up on the Bayonetta series because I've been always interested and just never bit the bullet. I don't know, but I got about 4 weeks to try and finish 2 games. I'm pretty sure I could do it. I do have the Trinity Masquerade edition, the special edition for Bayonetta 3 pre-order. I'm pretty excited. It looks beautiful, one of the most beautiful Switch special editions. Am I the only one that wants more beautiful Switch special editions? I am frankly kind of tired of big rectangular box with like no flair to it. I feel like honestly the only other Switch special edition I really want is the Master Sword edition of Breath of the Wild, because that box is clean. But I digress. Yes, Bayonetta fans, Bayonetta 3 is real, and coming out on October 28th. If you're a Platinum Games fan and Bayonetta fan, help support them out. Babylon's Fall definitely did a dent into their wallet, and Platinum, I'm always a little worried about Platinum based on things they're always saying. I hope one day not to see them go, because I don't know, it'd be terrible seeing them go, because they have made a lot of great things and a lot of things, but I mean, I can't stress enough, Bayonetta 3, even though I'm not a Bayonetta fan, it does feel significant that it's finally coming out. It's been one of, I feel like, the most joked about things next to Metroid Prime 4, where basically the 2 Switch games that have gotten announced and just pushed back with pretty much no info. Bayonetta 3 has gotten more info, obviously, recently, because it's actually coming out, but yeah, now we can all joke about Metroid Prime 4 even more. So yeah, everyone, that is the October Switch lineup. It is pretty packed, I would say, with a lot of actually notable things, a lot of third-party and 2 big Nintendo releases for the month of October. Things are getting crazy as well in November with Pokemon and such, but if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it a lot, and yeah, until next time, everyone, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. We got a Discord in the description below where we talk about video games and video games and video games and video games. But until next time, everyone, later.